What's up, baby? Welcome to Re-Frag, and I'm Drew Face, and I'm joined today by my lovely co-host Scooter. All right,
Yeah, man. There's been a lot going on this week. We've got
all right,
some big things to talk about.
for sure. Like some things we gotta talk about is there's a lot of cheating happening in esports lately. Like a lot. Like turns out Akuma is cheating, especially from what Navi's found. And on top of that, who admitted to a lot of adderall use during his 2020 COD run, and that's it's a little dangerous because adderall is a easily obtainable and prescribed drug. So how do you feel about that, Scooter?
Well, we saw it a couple of years, or sorry, not even a couple of years ago. It's been a while now, but we saw it in the CS:GO scene where Cloud9 Semphis at the time had come out and said, "Hey, all my team is using it," and we're seeing it again. We're seeing people using Adderall as a competitive advantage, and back in the CS:GO days, it was a slap on the wrist, and they imposed some rules saying, we are gonna drug test you at major events. We're gonna make sure you're not on anything. And I don't know, this COD situation. Do you think the punishment is right? Like, do you think there needs to be more serious? Because obviously, if somebody cheats in a game, like an actual software cheat, they're banned for life usually.
Yeah.
Do you think drug abuse is? Do you think the penalty isn't as tough as it should be?
Well, I think in sports, I think it should follow something like sports, where like if you break it 3 times, then yeah, you should be banned for life after amount of strikes because uh like one you want to protect the safety and the minds and the physical health of all these players, right? Because like abusing drugs can lead to a very dangerous past, as history has shown it. The problem is the Adderall. Well, everybody can get it prescribed to you. Like a doctor can just write it uh, to you, and you can pay off doctors to do it too. And that's the dirty part about it. Like we've seen a lot of like teams hire doctors, and sometimes they don't tell you, but they'll just write like those doctors will get paid to write a subscription for Adderall to give to their players just to boost during a major, and it's hard, man. I think the punishment should be it should follow similar to sports where like if you abuse it enough times it should be super severe, but it's something physical. It's not like you're breaking a game engine, you're harming yourself, right? So I think it's a bit different. It's a bit different from like cheating in game, using a hack in game as opposed to using a hack in life. But you can argue that it's different. It's the same as well. You can really argue that's the
Yeah.
same, but I don't think so because one is actually this is permanent effects on you, right? When you take Adderall, like you can start shaking, you can start getting more anxious, more impatient, and that's something that can be permanent. It's one of the side effects. You can get more restlessness, you get more tired. Like it's a really bad drug to abuse. But whereas like if you hack like CS:GO, yeah, you get banned from ESL for life. But I'm pretty sure like no one's sure there might be some mental like maybe mental health issues. Maybe you get like shat on by a Twitter troll, but that's better than like physically permanently physically damaged. So
Yeah. And segueing to another form of cheating.
yeah.
So, do you think that, like, how do you feel about the cheating situation? So, obviously, there's a lot of talk in the CSGO scene currently about uh, the Navi player.
Yeah, the
And,
Kuma Navi situation.
yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about like the ban lengths? Let's say he does get banned. Do you think that's even right? Do you think Valve and like ESEA and all that have those bans correct? As even Brax is a key example.
No, I I don't think that. So basically, I always believe that everyone deserves a chance at redemption. That's why I believe in like the 3 strike rule. The three because like when you do things more than 2 times, that's a habit. That means it's hard to change. Habits are hard to change, and that means you're habitually doing it. Because if you can do it two, 3 times, that means you're definitely doing it way more than 2 or 3 times. You're just showing me that you can do like you've been exposed to do it 2 or 3 times. So I do think in the case of the Bragg situation, that was terrible. That was absolutely asinine. I don't know what Valve was doing, but they basically ruined someone. They ruined a kid's life. They ruined a kid's future in esports. And yeah, he's fine now. He's like 23, fine now. But even like the mental health uh the mental health implications there, like it could have been severe, very severe. This guy was just he was just 16. Like he just wanted cool skins, you know. At the core of it, he wanted cool skins. Yeah, he had to throw a match to do it, but and yeah, that's not a good thing to do. I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm saying the punishment was too severe, especially considering that they banned a French team as well for cheating, and those guys got unbanned 6 months later
Nope.
for doing something way more severe. I forgot what the French team is now,
I
but like
think
that
it was Epson
Epsilon, yeah,
Epsilon, yeah, Epsilon Esports. That's the one.
yeah,
Um,
like but lifetime ban. Steele was in his mid 20s, and when he was done, he's older than me now, right? He had when he was done, it was like when the ban was done. No, there was no the ban is still
yeah, the
there.
ban is still it
Sh-
still exists.
When,
Yeah,
when Valorant, when he finally had a chance to play another game similar to Counter Strike, and it was Valorant, he was like 32, 33, like, and that sucks because he was like around my age, like 25, 26, 27, playing Counter Strike perfect. I just thought like maybe like 2 years, that's okay. You know, 2 years is fine. Uh, and like you didn't have to make an example that severe. You could have been just been like 3 year ban.
yeah.
It's fine.
I think Rainbow Six has it perfect, and you know, I'm very new to the Rainbow Six scene.
Hmm.
Uh, just very, you know, since Parabellum picked up their own team,
Yeah,
but I love how they do it. You know, if somebody gets caught for cheating, especially if it's a one-time offense, it's like a year ban. If they make a
yeah,
public apology, they can come back a little sooner. And it's like that's perfect. You know what? Somebody fucked up. Cheating is a big thing,
yeah.
and
Just offer a chance of redemption,
yeah,
right? Don't just outright write this person off. People can change if they want to. If they want to change, people will change, right? And when you're 17 and you want to play video games for a living, like your Brax, like you will change. You'll be like, oh my god, I didn't realize I ruined the competitive integrity for the future of the esport, right? Like people said, how the when we were young, we were stupid too. We were short sighted too when we were younger. So it's like people
I
change.
I also don't think Valve took into account that back when iBuyPower did throw the match and end up catching that ban, they weren't getting paid. There was no money in esports.
Yeah,
It was so early on that they didn't have a salary. They may have had sponsor money and the occasional like winnings, but they didn't have a salary. And that ban is still existing. The reason they did it is because they were all broke. They were all like our age
yeah,
and they
bro.
needed money. They wanted to play this game full time, but they couldn't afford it. They
Yeah,
threw, and I get it. I get it's still a shitty thing to do, but also now look at CS. There's people on teams that are getting like 20 grand a
tons.
month.
Yeah,
God, Simple's probably making enough to he could work 1 year in CS and be good for the rest of his life.
the CS:GO community, it's only as big as it is because of the grassroots organizers like really hustling, eating shit for so long, and then like all these third parties helping to grow like CS:GO, and Valve just super hands off, don't care. And the best part is Valve has Valve has the ability to take it all away. ESCA, they can take it all away. Face it, they can take it all away. Like blast it, like fuck majors, ESL, all these things, they can take it all away. They can. They just don't want to do it because like I feel I'm not saying this is true, but
And they
I
have to
feel
work.
yeah, the negative PR that they would get from ruining like all these like hard like these grassroots organizations who become premier esports brands, businesses, like the PR they would get would be insane. Like it would truly show that they're one of the most desensitized unsympathetic companies in the world when it comes to their communities, and they don't want to do that, right? But at the same time, they don't care about Counter Strike. They literally don't care about Counter
Yeah.
Strike. You play Counter Strike right now, ESCA, face it, those guys care about you. You know they care about you because, well, you're the main reason why their business runs.
Unless they're
But
mining Bitcoin off your computer.
yeah, yeah, and they're mining Bitcoin on your computer, but they also care about the game. They truly love Counter Strike at the end of the day. Valve does not like Counter Strike. I can say that with a full, like, straight face. Valve does not like Counter Strike, nor do they like Half Life. They don't, but yeah,
Or Left
it's
4
like
Dead.
Half Life is dead. I'm sorry, kids. Yeah, but yeah, like it's yeah, it's just it's pathetic. Like it's almost pathetic. I've seen fighting game developers treat their fan base a lot better, and I'm a fighting game fan, and those guys don't speak English. They don't know what we're trying to say to them, but at least they care a little more than Valve does for Counter Strike. Like it's insane. It's insane.
Speaking of fighting games, this is just my little bit of fighting game knowledge coming out. Um, so do you think, just because obviously in the next couple of days this should come out on the 13th, but on the 15th we're getting the Nintendo Direct at E3.
Right.
Do you think Nintendo will ever give a bone to like the Smash community and shit and
No.
ever go
No.
hand in hand?
No. Absolutely not. Because the core principle of Smash was not for competitive sake. Whereas like Street Fighter, Capcom was like Street Fighter is a one-on-one game. We want to see who's the best. Tekken, one-on-one. We want to see who's the best. Smash was like, let's get all our favorite like fighting like characters and franchise and make a fighting game about it. And then and make it fun, a party game. That's what they intended the game to be, a party game. Obviously, sometimes the artists their work will always be interpreted differently by everybody. That's something you have to like everybody has to understand, but Nintendo doesn't. So Smash became a competitive fighting game. And it's a pretty amazing community. Everything they've done it by, it's just like CS:GO, they've done it by themselves, but unfortunately last summer, as you can tell, like there was a big major, it was a dark day for Smash Esports. And yeah, and that kind of just made Nintendo go, yeah, thank God we don't support that, because they're only 0.001% of our like revenue. Let's face it, Smash Esports isn't as big as like the 72 million users that paid for Smash Bros. Right? It's only like at max like maybe 30,000 people playing competitive Smash actively, or 40,000. There's a lot of viewers, a lot of fans for sure, but like competitively, like active, it's like that's like 0.1% of their revenue. At the end of the day, these guys, they want to do two things: good PR or make a lot of money, because it affects their end line. Good PR will indirectly give them more money, right? And then obviously more people who buy the game will give them more money. That's their bottom line. Their bottom line is like to make more money, and compared with Smash, doesn't improve their bottom line at all. To them, I'm not saying it does or it doesn't. I'm just saying to Nintendo, it doesn't. It, they don't see it as something that affects their bottom line. Whereas like Capcom, competitive Street Fighter affects their bottom line. If the competitive integrity of Street Fighter is compromised, yeah, that affects, because the game was supposed to be made for one-on-one, right? It's just that there's a cool lore around it, right? And it's part of pop culture forever. Tekken's the same thing. It affects their bottom line. Competitive integrity affects their bottom line, because you want to see the best fight the best in those things, right? So I don't think Nintendo will ever give their Smash community a bone. I mean, they have with the tour, but is that as supported as like the Capcom Pro Tour? No. Is that, do they even fix their own netcode like ArcSys did for Guilty Gear? No, they didn't do that. All they did was like, we heard you like Fire Emblem characters, when the competitive Smash community was like, no, I don't like Fire Emblem characters. The competitive Smash community was like, no, we didn't ask for this. And then like obviously numbers said it didn't matter what you asked for, competitive Smash community. 30 million people bought the Smash, like the DLC pass to get Byleth. Like, I'm sorry. Right? Like, look, that it doesn't matter to Nintendo. Nintendo will never do it. Nintendo will never do those things. Nintendo doesn't even give you patch notes that are properly like designated, dude. You People had to figure it for a long time, up until last year. People had to figure it out, and even then, after all that dark day where uh with the Me Too movement, where a lot of courageous people spoke out against a lot of their abusers, and thank God they did, because I didn't realize that many people at high places in the Smash community were abusers. Thank God, like that was incredibly shocking. Yeah, Nintendo's not encouraged to say. They're like, why would I support this? It's like, so more people can get abused when I could release a Fire Emblem character and make $40 million. And these guys hate my Fire Emblem characters. Like, you know?
Oh, Nintendo just knows how to make the moves. I mean, and that's the thing. That was the big, like, the kind of final straw for the Smash community. Obviously, they'd been pushing for Nintendo to be more involved, and that dark day did. I think that sealed the deal, and it probably made the executives be like, nah, this is why we're not fucking touching this. You know, it's, they can run whatever they want. We'll let them run whatever they want, but no.
Yeah, no, it's like, well, we won't stop them from running tournaments, but will we support this? No. Will we? And unfortunately, like every time, and it's such a great community outside of like, like, well, no, I wouldn't say a few, but outside of like that, it's an amazing community with amazing legacy behind it. It's sad to see them not get supported, but yeah, Nintendo doesn't. Yeah, Nintendo was like, no, why? Why would we do this? And they don't even like our DLC passes.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
it sucks. But that's like Capcom might be really really bad at um like Capcom for a long time had a ton of communication issues. Like their USH arm and their Japan arm weren't really in sync. It clearly now like it's a lot better, especially with the recent releases of Street Fighter Five updates. Yeah, I'm very grateful for all the other developers. They're actually trying to listen, because they realize that like, hey, the competitive integrity of our fighting games by nature, you don't play a fighting game to like I don't know, to explore the story. You do, but you play it to compete. You naturally you play a fighting game to see who's the best. That's the story of Street Fighter. They want to see who's the best, right? Like that's why they care so much, because at the core essence, whoever's the best will like keep driving that narrative, will get them more sales. And like that I'm grateful that a lot of fighting game developers kind of understand that. Except for I don't know if Arxis understands that, but I think they just lucked out and they're just like, fuck it, man. Like we love guild, like we love making Rockstar themed video fighting games, and now we released the game with rollback and you guys kept buying it. Awesome. Like maybe they don't get it, but like Capcom for sure understands. Namco Bandai for sure understands. NetherRealms 100% understands. NetherRealms is such a great company, and so is the guys who did Killer Instinct. They're so amazing with their communities. Everyone's transparent. Those guys, those developers, the KI developers, I think Twin Galaxies, no, Iron Studio, Iron Galaxy Studios. That's the guys. They care so much about their community. They go out to like all the esports events, all the FGC tournaments. They're in the crowd with you. They're supporting their pro players. Mortal Kombat's the same thing. I saw the Mortal Kombat developers, NetherRealm, front row of Combo Breaker, cheering on the pro players. They care. Like that's the type of care that like I love to see from developers. Riot is doing that with Valorant, and I'm sorry, but Valve, like, if you play Counter Strike, like you really love Counter Strike, but Valve does not like you. Whereas Riot loves you. Riot really loves you. Just and they want you to play Valorant because they care about you and the future of that esport. Nintendo doesn't care about the Smash community competitively, man, right? Because those guys will complain about Mario like having a frame skip in like two jumps. Like maybe his down B is not accurate enough. They don't care about that. They care if like, does your mom like to play Smash Bros? Do you like Nintendo characters? That's what they care about.
Yeah.
And the bottom line, Nintendo's like, every company is a bottom line company, but their bottom line, like the competitive scene doesn't affect their bottom line. Free
Yeah.
Nintendo.
So yeah, just for the last part of the this episode, we are just gonna quickly bring up, like I said earlier, it is E3 right now. So Drew, you looking forward to anything?
No,
Anything you hope
absolutely
they
not. I
announce?
think no, absolutely not. I watch every E3. I love video games. I watch every E3, and like this year is so disappointing. I don't know what's. I'm just waiting for God of War 2. I hope Thor comes out with a giant dick and like slams it across someone's face. That's about it. I'm not really excited for anything else right now. How about you, man?
I think for me, I just hope to see. I kind of want to see what the new Elder Scrolls looks like. There's no there's no shot that we don't get a trailer, and
Dude, it's just another report of Skyrim, man.
let's see. That's the thing. If it is, Bethesda lost me. But on the 15th, like I said, Nintendo, I want to see the new Pokemon game. I want to see if they've got more footage, and I want to see what it looks like. And I don't know, I'm excited.
One of my favorite games is Pokemon, but I don't have high hopes because I don't want to build expectations for myself. But
Yeah,
I'm actually looking forward to that. Uh, I wanted to see Mother 3 in the West so long. I always ask for it every year. Uh, I play with fan translation. I love it. It's professionally well done. I hate. I just Nintendo just doesn't care. Just- Dude, I just want Mother 3, man. Please. And another, Elden Ring.
Yeah,
Remember
I
Elden?
saw that the other day. Yeah,
Is that a real game?
yeah. They showed the trailer yesterday.
No, you're lying to me. That's not real. It's an April Fool's joke. They're just late.
Yeah, they're just gonna when the game comes out, it's just gonna be 8-bit. It's gonna be a another side scroller.
You know those mimics in like Dark Souls? Like that's the game. You buy the game, but then when you put in your PS4, it eats the PS4, and you're like, "Damn it!" Or sorry,
Man.
PS5. Like it eats the PS5. Like fuck. Yeah, no, that's. uh, I mean, I'm excited. Like I'm happy that you're excited to see the new Pokemon. Like the Pokemon's always a franchise that's like it's amazing.
It makes you feel young.
Yeah, it always makes you feel. And the best part is for everybody. It's literally for everybody. It's not no matter what you do. Like it's for you. I hope it does because like Sword and Shield were pretty good after the season passes, but like that game on launch was like very bare.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I guess we'll see what comes out, what gets announced. If you want to let us know what you're excited for, just let us know down below in the comments. Or if you're listening on Spotify, just send us a tweet. If you've got Twitter, you can follow us there at the Re-Frag TV. And we'll see you guys next week.